Post-traumatic stress disorder, or PTSD, is a complex disorder that is often misunderstood. PTSD may develop following exposure to extreme trauma, a terrifying event or ordeal that a person has experienced, witnessed, or learned about.
PTSD symptoms usually develop within the first 3 months after trauma, but may not appear until months or years have passed. These symptoms may continue for years following the trauma, or in some cases, symptoms may subside and reoccur later in life.
Many people who experience an extremely traumatic event go through an adjustment period following the exposure. Most of these people are able to return to a leading normal life. However, the stress caused by trauma can affect all aspects of a person's life, including mental, emotional, and physical well-being.
An estimated 70% of adults in the United States have experienced a traumatic event at least once in their lives, and up to 20% of these people go on to develop symptoms of PTSD.
Untreated, PTSD does not get better in time. Unfortunately, many soldiers with PTSD do not seek help because they fear it may hurt their careers. David Finkel's dramatic depiction of Adam Schumann, Saskia Schumann, Amanda Doster, and Tassilo Aidi in the nonfiction narrative Thank You for Your Service inspires us to think of how important it is to be aware of post-traumatic stress disorder. This story tells us that PTSD is a serious problem and we need to become more aware of it because PTSD not only affects the soldier, but also affects their loved ones around them. In short, this text provides different stories in various places regarding people that have been affected by PTSD.
We started off by asking the general public what they wanted to know about veterans. We also created an email address that people could email us their questions about anything they wanted to know about veterans.
We also made and distributed flyers at malls. The flyers consisted of information on PTSD and also our contact information so that people could reach out to us whenever they wanted.
After receiving questions from the public, we then interviewed 3 veterans in hopes of answering the questions the public had.
After we interviewed veterans, we then created a video and uploaded it to YouTube in order to answer the public's questions.
Our first accomplishment is that we were able to communicate well with the public, and we received over 50 questions, but we narrowed it down to 20 questions to ask the veterans.
Our second major accomplishment were our interviews. We had very successful interviews. We got a lot of good information through them.
Our last accomplishment is we were able to put our video on the internet and received over 500 views.
By interviewing veterans, I learned that the veterans are willing to take the consequences of going into war and leaving their families to save our country.
I've learned to see things in both the perspectives of civilians and veterans about the positive and negative effects of war.
I learned that veterans know that the government isn't doing everything they can to help them, and that the VA is something that needs to get fixed.
I learned that not every veteran is quote-unquote Rambo. Some veterans have seen combat, some veterans have not, but some suffer more than others.
I believe that we accomplished our goals based off our views and the feedback we got on our video, and I believe that we did a really good job, and I'm grateful for what we did.
Oh, I definitely think we accomplished our goals. You know, we worked hard enough as a team, as individuals. We ended up getting over 500 views on YouTube. A lot of positive feedback, and I'm very proud about what we've done today. One of the major issues that we had throughout the project was simply finding the time in each and every one of our schedules to be able to meet together and work together as a team.
Another problem encountered was going to the VFW and not having the veterans wanting to be interviewed or not being any veterans at all.
Our last major problem was trying to get the views that we needed in the time of our deadline.
We summarized our project in order to give the public a brief description of the purpose.
We used analysis when we got our questions from the public, and also in this video we used analysis to see what our major accomplishments were and our problems.
We used the collegeness readiness skill synthesis when we read several articles in class and did our research about PTSD and veterans, and also reading the Sears book, Thank You for Your Service by David Finkel.
Together we can make a difference.
Honor our troops!